From unintentionally ending the life of a coworker on the set to the agonizing 3 years that followed, Alec Baldwin has had some rough times. However, his torment might just be coming to an end after the judge made their decision in the Rust case. Join us as we go through all the events that led to the Rust trial dismissal.
Are you doing okay?
No, I'm not, actually.
Days after a grand jury indicted Baldwin on involuntary manslaughter charges, a New Mexico judge dismissed the case against him for the fatal shooting on the set of the film Rust. The lawyers argued that the police hid evidence, a batch of bullets that could have been related to the shooting. They said these bullets could be connected to Ms. Hutchins' death, but were filed in a different case with a different number. While the prosecutors argued against it, the judge ruled that the state's withholding of information was intentional. She said, "There is no way for the court to right this wrong."
Dismissal with prejudice is warranted to ensure the integrity of the judicial system and the efficient administration of justice. Your motion to dismiss with prejudice is granted.
Now, prosecutors will not be able to file the charge against Baldwin again, as the judge did not rule the case a mistrial, but outright dismissed it with prejudice. To understand this better, we need to examine the history of this case, starting from the very beginning when tragedy struck on October 21st, 2021. It was a regular day on the film set of Rust at Bonanza Creek Ranch near Santa Fe. The crew had arrived as they normally would, but unlike other days, the cameras weren't the only thing that was shooting on that fateful day.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna talk to everybody here in a sec. We're getting these guys treated. We're securing the scene, and then we'll get with you guys in a sec. It's their safety, their medical priority first.
Where's the props guy?
Alec was practicing a scene in which he had to point a gun towards the camera. According to the actor, moments before the disaster, he and Hutchins were going over camera angles for a scene involving a gun inside the church on set. And Hutchins was instructing him to point the gun in the area of her armpit. The guns on set aren't supposed to be loaded with live rounds, hence they are called cold guns. However, the one Alec picked up was unknowingly loaded with a live round. Even when the assistant director, Dave Halls, picked up one of the guns laid out by the production's armorer, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, she yelled out, "Cold," indicating that the gun was not loaded. But when he aimed at the cinematographer, the gun fired and hit her in the chest. Hutchins was quickly transported by helicopter to the University of New Mexico Hospital, where she was pronounced dead, the sheriff's department said. It was a really sad day for Hollywood. That time, a spokesperson for the production said, "The entire cast and crew has been absolutely devastated by today's tragedy, and we send our deepest condolences to Helena's family and loved ones. We have halted production on the film for an undetermined period of time and are fully cooperating with the Santa Fe Police Department's investigation." After this unfortunate event, the production of the movie understandably came to a stop. Just 4 days after the shooting of the cinematographer, the production sent out letters to the team, saying that they would be stopping production for quite some time. The letter also mourned the loss of the poor soul and Red. "As we go through this crisis, we have made the decision to wrap the set, at least until the investigations are complete." Almost a month after the tragedy, the script supervisor sued both Alec and the production for the shooting on November 17th, 2021. Things were not looking good for the production. The film crew came forward with many complaints that completely exposed the production and their incompetence. For example, Hall's the assistant director who handed Baldwin the prop gun and yelled "cold gun," had been fired from a previous indie film following another prop gun discharge. At least do a background check.
Really terrible errors when it came to low budgets, bringing in inexperienced crew members, moving fast, just this expectation that nothing was going to go wrong when clearly everything ended up going wrong.
Furthermore, a few crew members even said they were frustrated with the absence of real producers on a set. A veteran producer even said, "What's most shocking here is that there wasn't a real producer to be found on this film." He went on to add, When you're a producer, you've got to vet anyone you haven't worked with previously and pounce when there's a problem. These complaints finally caught up with the production when Mamie Mitchell, the script supervisor, filed a lawsuit claiming Baldwin and others involved with producing the film failed to keep the set safe. According to the lawsuit, the film's producers said others repeatedly jeopardized the safety of the cast and crew by skimping on safety measures to cut costs. The suit claims that there had been 2 instances where guns had misfired on set prior to the fatal shooting. The suit also claims the gun used by Baldwin was regularly left unattended during filming, as was the cart sorting ammunition, which would violate industry standards. They might have saved a few bucks then, but lost a lot of money and a human life. But what did Baldwin have to say about all this? Well, he completely denied pulling the trigger. In an emotional interview with ABC News, he said, "Someone is responsible for what happened, and I can't say who that is, but I know it's not me."
I take the gun out, and as it clears, as the barrel clears, I turn and cock the gun over here. I turn and cock the gun goes off.
It should have been a cold gun with no rounds inside or dummy rounds, cosmetic rounds, no flash. I take the gun out slowly, I turn, I cock the pistol, bang, it goes up, she hits the ground.
His lawyer said the actor had no reason to believe there was a live bullet in the gun or anywhere on the movie set. He later added, he relied on the professionals with whom he worked, who assured him the gun did not have live rounds. We will fight these charges, and we will win. That's a fair thing to say, but how does a gun shoot without pulling the trigger? Why didn't the actor check for himself? That could have saved everyone from this whole disaster. And most importantly, how did the bullets end up in the gun's chamber in the first place? The police probed into the matter and got a search warrant for the prop shop. According to the detectives, the ammo was actually purchased from the shop of Seth Kenny. In an interview, Gutierrez Reed's father, Thel Reed, told the police that he had recently worked with Kenny on another project in which they needed live ammo.
According to this search warrant affidavit, after the shooting, Rust prop manager Sarah Zachary checked the ammo box. She says she believes some of the other rounds in that box were live ammo.
The father told the detective that after production wrapped on that project, Kenny took the can of live ammo, indicating the ammo from his prior production could potentially match the one found on the Rust set. Kenny obviously denied these claims, but Hannah accused him of distributing boxes of ammunition, purporting to contain dummy rounds, but which contained a mix of dummy and live ammunition. Fast forward to 2022, the family of the deceased filed a wrongful death suit in New Mexico against Alec Baldwin and others involved. They claimed that if actual security protocols were being followed, Hutchins would be alive today. According to them, Baldwin had to take a greater share of the blame since he was holding the gun.
The idea that the person holding the gun, causing it to discharge, is not responsible is absurd to me.
A year after, the family settled the suit, and the husband gave a statement in which he said, "I have no interest in engaging in recriminations or attribution of blame to the producers or Mr. Baldwin." Talking about his wife's unfortunate death, he said, "All of us believe Helena's death was a terrible accident. I'm grateful that the producers and the entertainment community have come together to pay tribute to Helena's final work." And that's not all. Under the deal, the filming of Rust would continue with all the original principal players on board. However, this victory was short-lived because almost a year later, Santa Fe County prosecutors announced that Baldwin and other crew members would be charged in Hutchins' death. In January 2023, the Santa Fe DA announced that Baldwin and Gutierrez Reed would be charged with 2 counts each of involuntary manslaughter. A special prosecutor, Andrea Reeb, made a statement. The evidence clearly shows a pattern of criminal disregard for safety on the Rust film set. In New Mexico, there is no room for film sets that don't take our state's commitment to gun safety and public safety seriously. The trial ended with the charges against the actor being dropped, while Hannah had to spend 18 months in prison.
Your motion to dismiss with prejudice is granted. Now, with respect to the jury, I don't imagine you all want to return on Monday. I will take care of the jury.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We are in recess.
Again, this victory wasn't for long, as in January 2024, a grand jury indicted Baldwin for involuntary murder charges, following new investigations into the incident. These charges would be dropped a few days later, giving the actor a permanent sigh of relief as he can't be charged for this incident again. And that's all from this story. What do you think? Be sure to leave your comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more.